Hi, welcome.
Thank you.
What a beautiful place. Thank you, ladies, for inviting us, for letting us to be here in innovative agro industry. And our role here, our purpose here is to empower women. And I'm glad that we have now this opportunity to bring more inspiration to other women, and I'm glad that you are here, and you are welcome to come and say and talk, and you're good with us.
Thank you for inviting me.
Well, so please introduce yourself.
I'm Bernadette Prestweed. My connection with innovative agro industry is my husband, Chris, who has worked for the business in the past and into the future, I suppose. I'm from Australia, but live here in Papua New Guinea at the moment.
For how long?
I've been back and forth. Chris has been here nearly 10 years, and I was here before COVID for 12 months, and then home because of our children during COVID. I've been back probably about 18 months, but I come and go. Every couple of months I go home for a week or so. So that's okay. I'm a mother of 5 and a grandmother of 4.
Amazing.
And I'm a finance manager for a poultry business here in England here. I'm very good.
So you're working here also?
I do 3 days a week with them, and then the rest of the time working with Chris, which is also in the poultry industry.
Amazing. Let me introduce myself. I forgot to introduce myself. So I'm Geraldine Shosh as the boy. Here I was born in Argentina. I moved to Israel when I was 8 years old, and we moved here to Papua New Guinea with my husband. And we were living here with him for 1 year, and then he's still working here. And we moved, me and my 4 boys, and we moved to Singapore. And my husband comes and go every while, a second weekend, something like that. And I'm a special education and well-being consultant, and I really love to bring this well-being to us, to women, and to bring this power to ourselves, because I believe that we have so much to bring to the world. And when I see women like you doing this wonderful journey, I get inspiration. So I would like to hear your journey, and I'm sure that other women would like to hear it as well. So, so you told us about your background, and tell me how it started, all this relocation journey. When it started, yes. How did you approve it?
Well, in Australia, up until maybe 13, 14 years ago, we ran our own business. And Chris and his parents were involved. We sold that business to a multinational. And Chris was consulting with them for a little while, but got a bit sick of that and wanted a bit of a new challenge. And just by chance, something came up here in New Guinea. And it was challenging because at that time our children were quite young, and we still had 4 of them at school. The eldest one finished that. 4 of them at school. But we decided that it was, thought it'd be a great challenge. So
we moved.
Yes. he moved to Lae first and lived there for 3 years. At the time, I was also currently working in finance, but in education, with 3 local schools
Here
in Australia. So yeah, so
you stayed with the kids in Australia, and he was 3 years long.
But we did come, like at school holidays, the kids and I would come over, or he would come home, but mostly we came over.
But finally, you stayed with 5 kids.
Yeah, but the boys, 2 of them, like as I say, our eldest would have been working. He was doing an apprenticeship at the time. Our eldest next son would have been at boarding school during the week and just home on weekends.
Mm-hmm.
And the other 3 were home with me. So, yeah. God.
You felt that it was fine with you?
Yeah, we were fine. The big challenge came when COVID hit, because I was here with Chris for about 8 months prior in Hagen, up in the Highlands, prior to COVID. And because, our youngest was the only one still at boarding school. The others had all left.
So you were here by yourself and your kids stayed in Australia?
4 of them were doing, work, some sort of work at the time, and our youngest was still at boarding school. But COVID hit, and I had to go home because our youngest had to come out of school. They closed schools and everything. And we got separated for 2 years.
Wow.
And so the kids, I hadn't seen Chris for 20 months by the time he got back. And the kids hadn't seen him for, 22 months.
Oh my God.
Yeah, it was terrible because he couldn't fly out and I couldn't fly here. Like Australia wouldn't let me out. So, that was a challenging time. That's when I started to question whether we made a good decision or not. And COVID was challenging because if someone had said to us we were going to be apart for 2 years, we wouldn't have done it.
Of course.
But
you didn't sign for that.
No, and the goalposts kept changing though. Like COVID, like in 1 month it'll be finished and everything will be okay. So you sort of say, we can do 1, or we can do another 2.
Yes.
But just kept going. Oh my God. Yeah. So it's really, challenging time. Probably not difficult because you kept thinking, it's only going to be a short period of time.
Yes.
But it was very challenging in the end.
And did give you some questions?
Oh, definitely.
What kind of questions?
Questions of whether we were doing the right thing, whether it was, healthy to keep going. And then, we would think the horse would finish and we'd say, no, it'll be okay.
So what was the outcome, questions?
When we back together, once Chris came actually home, which would have been the December of he came home before Christmas. No, we probably didn't have any. We probably were just so relieved and happy to. And the kids, they were really relieved to have Dad sort of be home. And then I think he spent nearly a month home with us. And then it was a decision of what we were going to do. Because at that stage, I was again working in Australia because I had nothing to be working. So we then had to make that decision of what we were going to do going forward. And our youngest at that stage because of COVID, he had decided he didn't want to continue at the time with school. He wanted to go and do an apprenticeship. So he decided he'd work with his older brothers. And it was, so I decided, and as a family, we discussed it, that I would come back.
And the kids stayed.
And they're all they're all working. Our 4 sons all run a business and work together.
Okay, wow.
And our daughter is, she works.
You did a great job.
Challenging at times, isn't it?
Wow. But if you're talking about 4 boys that are collaborating together, amazing.
Yeah, like very different personalities, the whole 4 of them. And it doesn't go without arguments. They have,
Of course. People in
strong personalities. But they seem to make, they've worked together in the business for maybe 3 years.
Wow, that's
Yeah.
a long time.
The younger, the second youngest, like the 2 eldest started the business, who both had more than one qualification, but they decided they wanted to build and concrete all these different things. So that's how they started it. And our youngest became their apprentice then for his 4-year apprenticeship. But then our second youngest decided he'd finished his apprenticeship and he'd done a few other things, and he decided he would join them later. So
Beautiful. Wow. So they give you their approved goal.
yeah, we discussed it with them because at that stage we also had 1 grandchild, and that was difficult because we knew there was more planned. How did they feel about grandmas not being around? I think when we first discussed it, we were all a bit funny about us being a part of the group. But with technology, that changed everything, because we were concerned that the grandchildren wouldn't know, wouldn't feel comfortable with us when we come home, things like that. But because of FaceTime and things like that, we just said we'd show home and see how we went. And now that grandchild is nearly 5. And he is, he very much knows who we are. And,
Let you visit a lot now.
Yes, I do more than Chris. Chris is home maybe 3 or 4 times a year, but I'm home every few months.
Would you like to share about your job here, your role here
As a finance officer?
How do you find to work here in Papua New Guinea? How is it for you?
Very, very different to Australia. Australia, I suppose, is very organised and regimented and those sort of things, whereas New Guinea isn't. It's very, I suppose it's very new here. We're talking about a civilization that, has lived tribally up until about 100 years ago.
Yeah.
Whereas Western society has developed over thousands of years. We're trying to bring, a tribal community into Western society within less than 100 years. So that's challenging too. And logistics, getting around because of lack of roads, transport, weather, all sorts of things here in this country. Yeah, logistics is a really big problem.
So, do you like your role? What is
Yes. That's interesting because I do love work here and I love the people.
Yeah, you like
the people are really, look, there are obviously challenges with certain people, but the majority of the national people really want to learn and, are really enthusiastic about change and seeing change in their communities and help for their families and, those sorts of things. And I think we find probably more in this country that the women are really pushing and driving that change because I suppose they're the ones running the family. And they're the ones that want to work and earn the money and get things organised for their families and their communities. Yeah.
So you see it in your job also?
Yeah, definitely in the farming areas that we work. A lot of women stepping up to be the well, maybe not the breadwinner, because they're probably their husband, a lot of their husbands work too, but they are really wanting their community and family to be in a better position financially, and their commitment to work is driven, I suppose, by their family, and the women are the carers.
They're strong women.
They are. Yeah. The women are very, very strong.
Yeah, even physically. You can see
They
that.
are. Yeah, and they are very, willing to learn and want to learn.
Yes,
And
very good.
and driving the change. They really are, the women. Yeah.
So, is there something that you would like to improve your job in your role? Things that are meaningful for you?
Well, I think my role is, I have a basic role of running finances and keeping track of. But I think I'd like to see less of my input and more of the national women or the national people, So the more I can teach skills and do that, the less I have to input, the better I think. The more skills that the national people have and teach themselves and train others, the better for everyone.
Be more independent.
Yes.
So this is something that you would like them. You will bring the knowledge, and then they will continue
to teach, and to train younger groups that are coming through.
So this is something that it's in your mind for a while.
I think when we sign when we actually fill out our applications for our work permits and things, it's part of it. They actually are saying that we're here to train and to pass on that knowledge.
Do you feel that it's working? They're doing it?
Yes, in our industry, definitely. Considering Chris, back 10 years ago, what the poultry industry was to what it is becoming now, big leaps and bounds, and a lot of national staff being trained and taking on those roles of leadership in the industry. It's fantastic.
Okay, wow. So it sounds good. No? Sounds good.
The industry is the people here, national people probably lack in protein in the food industry, in the food supply here in the country. And the cheapest form of protein is chicken. It's the easiest to grow and the cheapest form of protein. So, for this country, if we can get, people, malnutrition is a problem. So, if we can get that better and people not, and stamping out malnutrition in this country, how wonderful.
So what do you think is the main issue with the nutrition? Awareness?
Yeah, and also I think ability to, like the Highlands have a major, have amazing fruit and vegetables. They've had farming for years, but there's not a lot of protein, in there. So, probably the whole country. Really, I suppose the coastal people ate fish and, what they could grow. The Highlanders all grew vegetables and things like that. So, red meat, I suppose, was a big thing. Yeah. And would be very difficult to grow. I know we have here Brahman cows or meat, but it's very difficult to have big animals in the heat and the tropics. So, chicken is the cheapest and the easiest way to get protein in these communities. Yeah.
So this is something that you would like to improve more.
Oh, that helps. Yeah. And we're also in 2024 we set up a helped with a foundation in a charitable foundation in Mount Hagen called the Eagle Foundation with a group of other people. So there were 6 of us that started it. 2 are local people here. Garrett is our chairperson. He was born and brought up in Mount Hagen. His father is a mixed race Australian from Guinea. So is Garrett. Sarah's parents are business people in Hagen. Her mum is a national lady. And we decided we were going to run a charity ball every year and raise money for either the hospital or education, because then the Western Highlands Hospital actually services the biggest area in the whole country as far as health is concerned. And health services are very limited in this country. So yeah, last year was our first big.
Amazing.
So we raised $411,000 for the hospital, and they've just opened the dental clinic that we provided the money for only a couple of weeks ago.
Oh,
So
maybe you can share the details.
So we've got the next ball starting. The next ball is on the 6th of June in Mount Hagen. And yeah, get onto the website, Eagle Foundation, and have a look and see how you can. Yeah.
Wow. So you see the help, you see there is an issue. And one of the issues is protein that you can see in these cases.
And lack of medical help here. I mean,
Both.
yeah, medical focus. So just even one of the ladies who is part of the foundation, her young son broke his arm in Mount Hagen the other day, and she said everyone at the hospital wanted to help, but they don't have enough staff, they don't have enough facilities, they don't have enough medications. So yeah, they ended up having to fly to Australia to get help from here, which is bad in this day and age that we can't have good health care.
Yeah, it's sad. Probably it's not such a difficult case.
Exactly, yeah. And a lot of people here die from things that wouldn't happen in our countries. Yeah. So that's not. You want to see that improved for the communities here.
So I'm, from everything that you say right now, when we take it one step ahead and charity, wow, it's amazing that you take a step. And
businesses here and the community here are very, very generous. Considering they're probably all doing it fairly tough themselves, have been very generous with sponsorship and donations and things like that. Yeah, to support the charity. So, yeah.
Wow, so before we going to finish, would you like to share or give inspiration to ladies that are listening or watching us? Something that you would like to share and to let them, you as a grandma and as a role model.
Oh, I don't know. I think there are so many amazing people in this country, but they just need opportunity to show. I think, this is a country where, I'm lucky to speak English. I speak one language. A lot of the national people here speak so many more. Their local languages, they speak Pidgin, they speak English, so it's education is a big thing too. Healthcare and education would be our main needs in this country, apart from law and order, which I think is, if law and order was fulfilled, it would be Well, it would attract more people to the country. I think a lot of people would stay, and a lot of females stay away because of the reputation, and for good reason. What happens here in PNG. It has big challenge.
So just a little step. Tell me one little step. Like for a woman that is listening and she can do today.
As a national or personal,
Whoever. We also international.
yeah. I think you should start with your own family and teaching your own children a good work ethic, and I think kindness is a really big thing that we should teach our children.
Why?
I think if we can be anything, to be kind to each other is the foundation of all humanity. I think here in our world at the moment, it's pretty sad, isn't it, what's going on at the moment, and especially in your country, that I think and I was talking to a young girl, 27-year-old on the weekend, and I said, what an amazing world we would have if we all worked together. Imagine if we all got, I know there's going to always be personality clashes, but imagine the amazing moments if we all worked together for one goal, to make humanity better. Just to be kind to each other. Maybe you could start that.
I agree 100%. And I would go with the one step ahead. What do you think is the woman that will rule the world woman?
Yeah, I think women are more, well, I suppose traditionally, right through, our last hundreds of thousands of years, women have been the caregivers in the families, haven't they? And I think that when probably not all genetically formed to be that caring.
Yes. And also the kindness, I think, that you talk about. We have it already in us, and then it's very natural for us to be this grace and compassion, to see the other, and to give to our kids. And you got amazing family that's now
all grown up.
And you get to see all these beautiful things that you brought together in your kids now. Amazing. Wow, what a beautiful journey. You're such an inspiration. Really, you are.
You've got 4 and you're doing a great job too, I think.
But I'm thinking to see you month apart.
Yeah, that was difficult time. That was a very difficult time.
You came from that such a strong woman, and all the surrounding give you the support to do it, and you continue go to work and still remind, be in touch with her little ones. It's amazing that you can do everything together and still
Very well. I think we're very lucky in this day and age to be able to do that.
Yeah.
Like think back to our even our grandparents. Like being away at war like that, writing letters. That mightn't turn up for 3 months.
Yes.
Whereas we're exactly, and we're instantly able to say, oh hi, how are you? We're very lucky for that reason, and that makes this life so much easier to do. Because I don't think we could have accepted this challenge of being here and being part without that service, isn't it?
And you made it. You take the technology, and even though it's PNG for you, and even though you're a part of your family, and you're still going, and you're flourishing, and you're working, and you're supporting your husband. It's amazing. Thank you. Great.
Thank you.
Thank
very
you so much. Thank you, and good luck with your next step in your journey.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay.